1.75.
Fairway 1293, 180 knots until Seca. Contact tower now, 12075.
180 to Seca, tower now 20.75, fairway 1293.
Lot 9 heavy, descend to maintain 5,000, turn right, heading 220.
Right, heading 220, descending 5,000, lot 9 now.
Runway 3655, reduced speed 180 till Seca. Contact tower now, 12075.
Alright, 180 to Seca, and tower now 2075, runway 3655.
Good day.
Alrighty, happy Monday. Let's get this going. I'm going to shut the ATC off because we don't need that anymore, but it was cool to listen to. Happy Monday, everybody. How is everybody doing? Hopefully better than we are in Wisconsin here. We got the Hawaiian shirt on because I need to get somewhere far away and warm. And this kind of helps. Not really. I'm not really sure. But yes, we got the vintage aviator Hawaiian shirt. I actually bought this at the EAA Vintage Hangar. It's one of my favorite shirts to wear when we go down there. And yeah, I figured what better occasion than when it's like literally raining ice from the sky and covering everything. So yeah. But other than that, we are continuing our journey here to Santorini. I actually thought we were further along than we were on this. We're probably gonna have a few more streams of this. I thought we were like almost there. I thought this was gonna be the last stream for this trip specifically, but it turns out that there's actually quite a bit more. We're only about 43% of the way there. So got a couple more legs ahead of us that we'll probably knock out tonight, and we're just gonna enjoy the view. Sorry about last week. I don't know what was going on. It was just I could not get the simulator to actually start and run. I would like click go or like to do anything and the whole thing would crash, no pun intended. Like it would just, my whole computer was freaking out. So I was trying everything I could and could not get it going, and you know, just decided to call it a night. But we got it figured out now and everything's good to go. Tested everything. We should be golden. Bushido, did you feed Millie? Millie is walked, Millie is fed, and Millie got a new toy today, so she is a happy pup. She is good to go. Alrighty. Well, welcome everybody. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get everything started here. So, I didn't take a look at how long this one should take us here, but we can take a look at our navigation log here. It's got a couple points of interest. Looks about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Probably be about 30-ish minute. Oh, yeah, 38:46 is what we're expecting. So a little bit of a longer route this time, but we are here for it. So let's make sure we got everything good here. We're heading out. We're going to take a right-hand turn We're just gonna follow, or sorry, left-hand turn. I don't think our GPS down here, our VFR map, is accurate. It doesn't know where we are right now. Trying to figure out where we are. So we want, yeah, so basically we got to turn around heading out of here. Cool, cool. That's all I needed to hear. Yes, she is taken care of tonight. She's good to go. I learned my lesson from the first stream. That's for sure. Alrighty. If everyone's buckled in, we should be ready to go. I did mess around with some of the graphic settings a little bit, added some more foliage, some more detail to the scenery, so hopefully should get a little more of a scenic flight this time around. My computer seems to be handling it okay. It's a 1070 Ti. Give me a break. All right, let's get her going. All right, we're at 150. Bushido asks, what is with the 180SX being named Blarg? So when I got the car and how it currently sits, it is like a very off-color pale green, and that paint needs Jesus. And I don't know, it was kind of the joke around the office. Actually, it was I think it was the Great Outdoors that actually came up with the name Blarg. Because we were just wondering what color. I think it was on like a roasting our cars or something like that, and he came up with that, which was really funny. And then it kind of just stuck. So ever since then, it's just been Blarg car. Hey there, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. We do have liftoff. We are on our way. We're gonna get these flaps up here. Rockhor, welcome. Got a favorite plane? Oh man, that's like asking someone about their dream car. It really varies. I mean, I am partial to the Piper Cub. I think that is one of my favorites. I literally have it tattooed on my back, so I probably should say that one. I do love the Piper Cub. I would love to own one day, just as a fun plane to own. But I don't know. There's so many for like so many different reasons. And you're talking about like classic Warbirds. Got some like vintage planes in there, which I guess like the Piper Cub could fall into. I love like the old Cessna. I want to say they're 150s, like the really old ones. The 140s, sorry. Especially when they're all polished up. Those look really good. Tis the drift season this summer. I am so excited for warmer weather and for drift season to start back up again. You have no idea. So we got out to a handful of events last year, and I had an absolute blast. I didn't really do like any content or anything like that, which wasn't my intention. It was more of just like, this is something I want to do, something I want to learn, and we're just gonna go take a weekend and go drifting. So schedule just got released for Club FR and US Air, which is where I drive at. Probably going to try to get to a couple more events this year outside of Shawano. We're going to try to anyway. But that is such a nice track and a bunch of good guys up there, so it's always a good time. Can you drift a plane? Absolutely. You just give her some little rudder, a little aileron, you can just fly this thing sideways. Look at that. I wonder if you know. I always keep forgetting to move my monitor to where it needs to be. There we go. That's better. Yeah, it's literally been a streak of bad weather here in Wisconsin. I am absolutely over it. We had a week of like maybe like mid 40s, and it was beautiful. All the snow was gone here. It was absolutely gorgeous out. I actually got out flying some of my RC planes and stuff for the first time this year. It was great. And then literally 2 days later, we got nailed with a huge snowstorm. And then since then, it has just been gross. It's been like wet, heavy snow. It's been raining. It's like rained all morning, and it was like turning into ice as it was coming down. And just not a good time. So we're in the Hawaiian shirt. We're flying over the Mediterranean, trying to escape all this. We heard you say that of Dwight. That's better. If I had some glasses on, I'd adjust it. Cameron, thank you so much, man. I hope you're doing well too. I'm doing good. Like I said, just trying to make do of the crappy weather up here, so we're playing some flight sim and somewhere warm. My space guy as well, not really. Not as much as I am aviation. I try to keep up with the stuff. Like, I think it's really cool, but I'd say more aviation is my strong suit as far as like knowledge and stuff like that. But I keep up with the space stuff. Like, I remember being really into, this is really gonna date me here, the freaking competition that they held in the early 2000s, and it was the Burt Rutan, or oh god, was it Burt? It was one of the Rutan brothers, and the goal was to create basically a commercial space flight. And that was like in the early 2000s, and that's when the Spaceship One mission happened. It was carried up by a big old like mothership plane, and it dropped this Spaceship One from very, very high up, and then it was basically rocket propelled into space and would stay up there for a bit, travel, and then re-enter, and then it would like basically fold in half to create enough drag to not burn up in the atmosphere and slow itself down, and then it would basically glide itself in, kind of like the space shuttle. And I remember watching that and thought it was the coolest thing, and I actually got to meet him, which was insane. He was at EAA one year, and we went to he was hosting like a little meet and greet thing, and I got to meet him, and I'll never forget that. That was so cool. But now Virgin Galactic is kind of taking that over with like the White Knight program and Spaceship Two and all that sort of stuff. I haven't heard much of it recently, but I remember for a while there they were doing a lot with it. And then of course keeping up with like SpaceX and all the stuff they're doing. I saw they just tested a bunch of the booster with all the engines for the first time, which was wild. My bad, brother. I saw what you came up as. I'm sure that freaked you out a little bit. I need to play this, but it required my numpad and the keyboard. Mine being 10 keys, I just installed. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it does require a lot of peripherals. That's for sure. Botate? What's up, brother? Welcome to chat. Yes, I absolutely enjoy it, Cameron. It's a really good simulator. I wouldn't say it's, I don't know, a lot of people argue that it's not like super realistic or things like that, or there are some bugs with it, but overall, for like the stuff that you can do in this, it's incredible. I mean, you basically have the whole world to your disposal. They're constantly updating it. There's a huge like aftermarket support for it, with controls, obviously, and then VR is super cool to do, and then a bunch of add-ons from user-created content, so planes, airports, missions, all that sort of stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. No, I really do enjoy it. I can go fly at like my hometown airport, and honestly, it's funny because I've played Microsoft Flight Sim since the 2004 one, and then it was Microsoft Flight Sim X, and then they was waiting so long for this one to come out, and this is the first one I've actually had like the full control setup. I had a joystick in the past, but this is the first one with like the pedals and throttle and all that sort of stuff, and I've loved it. Yeah, it is a huge game. But yeah, this new one, and especially because you can go in and like modify it yourself, it's so crazy how accurate it is for my hometown airport, which is like 2,000 people living there. It's just a municipal airport. What's going on? We are on our third episode, I guess you could call it. We are doing a bush pilot mission. So basically it's just a long flight from Croatia to Santorini, and we're on leg 7 or 8, I believe. So we're just cruising, flying in the air, enjoying the views, and chatting, hanging out on a Monday night. Yeah, the storage size for this game is insane, and then it constantly updates, and then if you want like more detailed airports, those are more updates. It gets kind of crazy. Thoughts on War Thunder? I love War Thunder. It sucks, like, I get it, what they do, like, to actually, like, level up and progress in that game, you kind of have to pay for it monthly, which is, like, I don't need another freaking monthly payment in my life. I haven't played it in a while, but I think if I end up getting, like a joystick again, I'd hop back into it on PC, because I played it on Xbox, and obviously it's a PC game that was kind of adapted to the Xbox, so wasn't the greatest. I did really enjoy it. I mean, for a free game that you can essentially play, awesome. And I know they keep adding stuff to that too, but it's fun. It's hard. Like there are some sweats on that game. It's crazy. Imagine playing Flight Sim during an actual flight. What's actually really cool is that you can sync live traffic, so like your airliners and stuff like that, basically anything with transponder, you can sync live to this game, and you can see it in the game at like where their location is, so you could probably literally follow your flight while you're on it, which is crazy. K20, it's okay, man, just happy to have you here. Time for some B-rolls. More belly roll. World of Warships. I thought about playing that one too, but I played War Thunder, the ships version, because they have like the tanks, ships. I think they have helicopters too, and then obviously the planes. I've never played the actual World of Warships, so I have a couple friends that have played it. I seem to really like it. Thoughts on streaming Ace Combat? Dakota, I think it would be sick, since you have some experience with the PlayStation 2 streaming. If I fired up my PS2 and we streamed some Ace Combat 4 and then did Ace Combat 5 and then 0, because those storylines are so insane. I love Ace Combat. That is my favorite game of all time. That series. Or the Nissan Altima in the sky. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this logically. It's nothing like too crazy expensive, kind of a beat around thing that the operators don't give a damn. Cessna? Yeah, that's like your Cessna 150s. For sure. And your old 172s, if you can get like an older one. Definitely. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. RX-8 of the sky, I need to know. So, correct me if I'm wrong, someone. I believe that there are rotary engines for airplanes. So that is a thing. The thing is, though, is that airplane engines in general, like, have a, like, date on, or like a limit on them. Like, they need to be rebuilt after so many hours of operation no matter what. So, like, it's not necessarily a huge issue with the rotaries. They just, like, need to be rebuilt more often, but it's totally expected because that's just how airplanes work. One thing to drive an unreliable car, but an unreliable plane that's got the balls. Oh man, yeah, it's pretty wild. I think like some of the ultralight, like your ultralight classifications, I think those are usually the ones that have the rotaries in them. They're there more often. And those are like freaking sky go-karts. It's literally like a tube frame and canvas. Slap an engine on it, and you're good to go. I'd love to fly an ultralight. I'd love to give that a go. That looks so much fun. Cameron, you're 100% right. 100% right. Alrighty, let's see where we're at here. Think we should be getting somewhat close. Ocean's on our right, so that's a good sign. We're heading the right direction. Yeah, I believe we're right here. We should be heading 108 shortly, which I believe is coming up. So yeah. Except the oil meters, yeah. Speaking of which, I just tore down the engine of my RX-8 and I'm waiting for the parts to come in. First time rebuilding a rotary, I'm pretty nervous about it, not gonna lie. Dude, props to you, man. That's so dope that you took that under yourself. I hope everything goes well for you. Yeah, I bet that's a little nerve-wracking. It's like, I feel like there's so many like little pieces, and I've watched like a lot of videos and stuff of people rebuilding rotaries, and it's gotta get it just right, but just take your time with it. I'm sure you'll be fine. Just a little different. Doesn't mean it's impossible. But I wish you the best of luck with that, man. We even heard of a plane powered by Honda K-Series motor. That poor motor's probably done after one flight. That would be crazy. Yeah, I'll have the Forza Rewind button ready. Speaking of rotary, do you think that Mazda new rotary backup generator parts for the upcoming EVs can serve as spare engine replacements for the RX-8 and RX-7s? So, I'm not sure, because I would imagine that it's going to be a lot smaller. I imagine. Like, looking at like a lot of the patents and like blueprints and stuff that I've seen, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything huge. It's not like they're taking like the 13B and like repurposing it. It's a tiny single rotor. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. So, unfortunately, I don't think so. The good news is that you can still find some of this stuff pretty easily. Makes like 75 horsepower. That'd be fun to throw in like a go-kart or something. That'd be a riot. This would be so small. I'm sure you could do it. Especially like a little one rotor. Yeah, package size, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people think that it's gonna be like kind of like a Prius, where it's like, oh, it's gonna drive off of the the rotary, but it's literally just like a little generator. Yeah, mini Doritos. James, welcome. Good evening. How you doing? Yeah, there's some dense little engines, that's for sure. He would do some crazy shit like that. I'd love to see it. I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Trying to take my mind off all the cold, crappy weather we got outside. So we're flying somewhere warm. Got the Hawaiian shirt on. We're rocking. 100 horsepower more than my Starlet. Hell yeah. Give the Starlet a little more credit. Those Starlets are cool. We got some windmills over to the right there. Okay, real question, can you fly to North Korea in this game? I mean, I don't see why not. I feel like there's no reason you couldn't. Well, Shido, that is like my worst nightmare. Okay, we got a few more turns coming up. Not gonna lie, it's a little bittersweet not seeing you on FI, but I could be more happy that you're out doing your own thing and bettering yourself. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it was hard, that's for sure. I mean, that was a good chunk of my life, like the last almost 5 years of it. It was definitely hard to step away, but needed to do it. Needed to do what was right. And happy we're here and we're vibing. Happy to have you guys here for the ride. Buckle up. Next up, Pyongyang. We should definitely try it sometime. I wonder like how detailed that area is, because like they just take stuff off of like satellite images, like Google Earth. And I think like AI just populates in what it thinks is there. If I saw the Tijuana party, Captain Bobcat. Oh no. That'd be a trip. Okay, but for real, car planes, are they a viable option? Have you seen how people drive? Now imagine giving those same people access to just fly. I think that answers your question. I wouldn't trust them. I mean, you've seen attempts for flying cars since like literally like the 40s. EAA in the museum has like one of the original aero cars, which is crazy to see. And if we haven't figured it out since then, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think what people are gonna come to realize is that like the multi-rotor, like the drone stuff, that's gonna be a lot more easily accessible. And you've already seen like a lot of light sport aircraft, basically like experimental light sport aircraft in like the shape of like a drone start to come out. And a lot of companies are starting to try to make them actually into production, which is super neat. So it's more of just like a personal little helicopter where it's like the size of a car. You can just hop in it, buzz around where you need. Don't need a runway or anything like that. What is a plane if not a flying car? See, I think that's literally where like that whole thing gets hung up, because it's like, okay, as soon as you get into the air, you get into a whole lot more regulations. There's a lot more stuff happening up there. It's like, I'm just trying to get my Part 107 to fly drones commercially. And like, that is insane in itself, the stuff that you have to learn. I've been flying RC stuff all my life. And it's like, the amount of stuff that you have to learn for that is crazy. Let alone like throwing someone keys to like an actual manned vehicle that can fly. Nah, people can't handle more room. Yeah. Lady room in my lane hit me, then had the nerve to yell at me and we're getting hit. Half the people. Yeah, I know, dude. It's crazy. That's what I mean. See how people drive? Trust those people in a flying vehicle going almost 200 miles an hour? Talked about the Nissan Altimas of the sky. You're going to have Nissan Altima drivers of the sky as well. And they're actual Nissan Altima drivers. Like GTA flying cars up in this. Cameron, yes, that is actually Mama Gels, is my mom. She's the best. She comes and hangs out all the streams. There's a 30-mile flight ban over the city for the Super Bowl. I'm talking drones within a few miles. Yeah. Yeah, they put up TFRs and all that sort of stuff, especially for stadiums. It's like when those got really easily accessible and people were just buying them from the malls and kiosks and shops and getting them for Christmas, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go fly over the parade with the drone, and I'm going to fly into the fireworks with the drone, and then it gets hit, and then it hits somebody. It's like a lot of bad stuff happens very quick. People just do stuff. What wheel and tire setup around the Cessna? Oh, you know, something real lightweight. Real lightweight. Some forged monoblocks on here. .335s on that boat. Oh yeah. Man, just taking a short trek over the water. It's a lot of ocean. Or sea, I guess you could call it. Alright. I think we have 2 more points of interest, so 2 more turns, 3 more turns coming up, and then we'll be heading into our airport here. Complete this first leg. Ah, I forgot to start the timer. Oh well. Brilliant Robin with wings, for real. Convinced that they literally did just take the fuselage of an airplane and make it a car. Been flying for about 31 minutes. All right, so we're not too far off track here. Maybe like the estimated time, like 38 minutes, but it always takes longer. And I got the throttle pretty far up there. Of course, you got wind and stuff to account for. Yeah, it does. The compasses get a little goofy. Top Gear did turn one into the space shuttle after all. See? Just wanted to go back into its original form. The flight attendants should have already been back there getting you your drink, and if they haven't, I'm going to need to have a talk with them. We only got tomato juice and Sprite on this flight. That's a horrible combination. What the hell? I'll take a Sprite, though. Some of the old coffee water. Some of the coffee grounds slip through, so you get a little snack with it too. Hope that's alright. I was kind of looking around the marketplace for this game for the first time. There's so much user created content, which is awesome. Bunch of old like World War II fighters, a lot of new like fighter jets and stuff like that, some big airliners, some other just like older and more like civilian airplanes, which is super cool. And that got me excited. I think we can do so much with that. I really want to get a joystick at some point so we can do like some jets and possibly like War Thunder and things like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Because I tried using this for War Thunder once. Whew! A little rough. About ready to rip the whole desk off with how much I was moving. My opinion, War Thunder is much better with a mouse and keyboard than with a flight stick. That's fair. I did enjoy it when I played it with the mouse and keyboard. I really want to try it with a joystick, though. Especially if we do a stream. It'd be a lot more fun. Oh, Cameron, that's a rough question, my guy. You don't even want to know, because I don't even really know. It is a pre-built iBuy, or is it? Yeah, it's an iBuyPower pre-built that I got about 4 years ago. It's got like a 1070 Ti in it. I think it's got 16 gigs of RAM. Nothing crazy by any means. But she's holding up. She's holding up. She's doing all right. I mean, the fact that it can run this, do the stream, and all that sort of stuff. I'm impressed, especially for being like 4 years old. PC Gamer realized that their house is pre-built. Wait, you guys didn't build your own house? Ooh, a little bumpy. I built my desk. Same. I did the whole IKEA desk thing. I actually did two of them, like right on the other side here. It's like two of them put together. My wife Maggie has her little workstation over there. It's nice because it's not like a huge room or anything. It's like a, I should know this, so I literally redid everything. I think it's a 10 by 11 room or 11 by 12, something like that. It's pretty small, and it basically takes up the whole one wall here with the desk, so it's really neat. So since Alex and Dakota have bought new wheels this year, are you planning on buying some too? That's funny you ask, because Alex was giving me shit about that, and I went into full panic mode because we're going to be going to Riverside in Chattanooga. We're all bringing our cars down. Alex has new wheels for the Ferrari. Dakota just got new wheels, and if you haven't watched a video yet, definitely go check it out. Got some baller freaking wheels, and they're all kind of giving me shit if I was going to get new wheels for the RX-8, and I kind of went into full panic mode and started browsing, and then realized that my wheels will be insanely hard to sell in the specs that they are. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Plus, I don't even know what I want. Like, I started looking, I'm like, I don't know what I would want. I really like the wheels that I have on there. I mean, I freaking designed the damn things. Get some Miata Steelies. Alright, I think I see our airport right up ahead here. Flashing lights up there. Way in the distance. Oh yeah. That would be it. Yes, exactly. My mom is right. I got mine first. Everyone else is catching up. The 90s Nissan spare tire wheels actually go kind of hard. I love I think Mazda for a while, their spare wheels in like the 90s were like a yellow color for whatever reason. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, Cameron, Miatas were a super dope option like 10 years ago when they weren't insanely overpriced. You're 100% right on that. They're fun cars, don't get me wrong. And I can try to squeeze myself into one. But like you said, you're not paying $10K for a clapped out 222,000 mile Mazda. And those 220,000 miles were a hard and brutal 220,000 miles. Because it's a Miata. You don't just drive a Miata. You drive a Miata. Rental car type of miles, exactly. Alright. Flying over some countryside. Hey, yo. I forgot that this thing had autopilot on it. I can just set my heading and just... We're golden. Hands off. I can just sit back. That's no fun. Seatbelt sign is now turned on. That's what it sounds like. We're going to take a little detour. Does I see the airport? It's right there. Yeah, we're coming up pretty quick here. What's the coolest control on the control panel? Take a look. This one's a little different because it's a like Garmin glass cockpit, so there's not a whole lot. You got like your mixture, throttle. Oh, I know the coolest one. This one. You turn it all the way to the left. It's really neat. the fan in the front turns off. It gets a little hot though. And then you turn the fan off. I always like to keep the fan on when I'm flying, because otherwise it gets really hot. Also, the plane gets really slow when you turn the fan off for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just trying to keep this thing from falling out of the sky here. Hopefully I remember how to turn this thing back on, or this is going to be not so great of a time.
Stall.
I just wanted to get it to stop spinning.
Stall.
There we go.
Stall.
Those stall horns going crazy. All right, well, we'll get her back on here. All right, we're good. If I could fly in any current military aircraft, what would it be? Ooh. Current. I guess it depends on how current. I mean, oh man. I feel like the F-16 is so freaking cool. And it's like an iconic one. The F-35 is dope. It's really new though. Really modern. A lot of new modern stuff in it. I feel like the F-16, even though it's a bit older, like you get a little more of that like rawness to it, which is dope. Otherwise, even though it is older, F-117, like the stealth fighter, I love those things. If I ever get a chance to fly one of those, I think that would be my go-to. I would 100% do that. Sir 72. Is there anything you wish EAA had that they don't already have, like any specific exhibit? That's a great question. And it's an interesting one because obviously EAA stands for Experimental Aircraft Association. That's what they're all about, like the original home builders and stuff like that, and kind of wacky out there stuff. I think their exhibit, like the Eagle hangar, is insane. They have some absolutely incredible airplanes in there, including like one of the original P-51 Mustangs. I think it was like 7th off the production line. I can't even imagine. That thing is like priceless. Like you cannot put what that thing is worth. I mean, you're talking probably tens of millions of dollars. I don't know. Maybe some like older like commercial stuff I think would be kind of cool. Like the early days of like commercial air travel would be really neat to see. SR-71, yeah, I was like, is there a variant of that I don't know about? Yeah, SR-71 would be wild. Yeah, Jack, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about that where there like still is like a couple, or still are a couple like in commission that people have been spotting, which is so wild to me. Really neat. I love that. I love that they're still flying them, that there's still a couple that are airworthy. I've never got to see one in person though. I would love to see one in person someday. If that's in a museum or wherever. I think the Smithsonian has F-117. I think they got the F-117 and, of course, the SR-71. Alright. We are on, obviously, our final here, coming into land.
500.
Remember there's like a flight training on here that you can do? where literally they take away your elevator control and then just make you use the throttle for controlling your elevation coming into land. And that helped me a lot. I couldn't believe how much that helped, but really gets you to learn how to work the throttle so you're not just really jamming the controls all over the place. A little skip, a little bounce and a skipperoo. She's center line though. I'll give you that. Full speed ahead. Awesome. Well, there we have it for our first leg of the night. A little bit of a longer one, but that's all right. 46 minutes. About a little longer than expected, but we are good. No issues. Take a little breather here while the next one loads up. Wonder whether I learned that technique? Yeah. That would be my father. I've never seen a man use so much runway to land an airplane. An RC airplane. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead get our next one loaded up here real quick. In the meantime, we got 17 people in here. What's going on, everybody? If you're just joining, welcome. Thanks for hanging out on your Monday night. Don't forget to go ahead and drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. It really does help out a ton. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, make sure to do that as well. Really appreciate it. So we are getting the next one fired up here. Looks like this one's a bit of a longer one as well. ETE of 40 minutes. So going off our last one, if we add about 6 minutes to that, or 8 minutes to that, should put us right around 48, 50 minutes for this next one, which is a little bit longer. That's all right. What in the hell am I looking at? Hold on, you guys gotta see this. There we go. Like looking through the navigation log for this, and then they usually give you like a snippet of like the airport. What the hell am I looking at? Where am I supposed to land here? On the northern edge of the Vosa Narta Nature Preserve in the Laguna Inartes, you will find a runway where you can land. I'll just find her. I think that's it right there. But the fact that, or no, it is buried in there. Okay, I see it. Oh, we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled for this one. Seems like a perfectly optimal landing strip to me. Yeah, why not? It looks like it's underwater. I mean, this is a bush pilot mission after all. I just think we might need some bigger tires. All right, let's get going here. So we're heading out. We're currently at 169. I'm gonna head 142. All right, facing the right direction. Let's buckle up. Let's get it. I don't need this. BH Camaro, let's not wrong. No, he's used my garage like once, but he can use it anytime. Looks like a place where you drop off a cartel drug lord. I don't know what side of TikTok I've gotten myself onto, but it is pretty sure like cartel aviation TikTok, where it's like these planes landing on like dirt roads in the desert and barely making it onto it or off of it, and it's wild. I even saw a video today, like this guy, it was like a what Cessna is that? I can't think of it. I can't think of the model number. Maybe it's like a 170R or 172R, whatever ones have like the retractable gear on it. It's like this, but it has like retractable gear. And he was doing the most ridiculous low pass over the water, and there's like these guys fishing, and they're like filming him, and he comes in, and the wingtip like catches the fishing line, and you just hear the reel just start spooling out, just and it just snaps, obviously, but like it was the craziest thing. The guys were freaking out. Like, that guy is gonna get a call from the FAA. Yeah, it's kind of the downside to it a little bit. A big old city down here. Alrighty. Just get buckled in and set up. We got a little bit of a long journey ahead of us. Get comfy. Get some elevation. We got some mountains up ahead. Climb up a little more. Don't worry, Bushido. We got some $400,000 missiles strapped to this thing. We can take her out. We should see if we can get up above the clouds in this. Just for the hell of it. Yeah, Jack. They do their best. That's why, like, I know for some like the really like bigger cities and stuff, they'll go through and release like updates for those specific areas and make it a little more detailed instead of just pulling it off of Google Maps, because yeah, there's some questionable stuff. It's really funny too, like especially when you get along like the rivers and stuff like that, or even some of the roads in like the really rural areas. They'll just put like a house like halfway on the road, or the road will just end when it's like flying up where I'm originally from. It's like should be like a major highway that goes through the town, and it'll just like end and then pick up again. So it's like, okay. Yeah, we're ready, K-20. Whenever that call comes through. You're not wrong, Bushido. You're not wrong. They literally built that plane around that gun. We're just climbing away. Hope this thing's got a pressurized cabin. It doesn't. Just hold your breath. That might work for a little bit till the hypoxia sets in. Valve. Me too, man. That was always a good time. I miss doing that kind of stuff. Maybe Dakota and I will have to fire one up one of these days. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Do one of those live again. It's always a great time. Bushido, the fact that you remember the German master. I don't think that was one of like the hardest I've ever laughed. Was that live stream? Oh my god, that was so funny. That was when we were like, we used to use that specific room for like our turntables and stuff, and then it got turned into an office area. Now it's a bathroom. They turned that whole freaking spot into a bathroom. It doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah, that was a great time. Dakota and I would cram ourselves into that little room and live stream for like an hour and a half, talk about the German master and his tail throats. K20, yeah, they did. They moved up to the warehouse, so everything's under one building now. Before it was marketing buildings specifically that were like more in Appleton. But with the new warehouse in Wrightstown and how much space was up there, it just made more sense for them to kind of move under one roof. So everyone is all under one roof now. Still local. Those clouds are pretty high. I don't think we're going to get above those, but we should clear these mountains no problem. So we're going to level her off and gain some more speed here so we can get through the rest of this. The Swaco meet was super cool. He's such a good guy, too. He was awesome to have hang out at the shop, and he was super pumped to meet everybody and hang out with everybody. That was a really good time. K20, I'm not entirely sure. Before I left, and like everyone is getting ready to go up there, from what I remember, that they're still gonna do builds and stuff. I would imagine they would just bring some of the lifts from the old building up there if they haven't already. Maybe they're just not installed yet. But who knows? I don't know. Speaking of meats, I can't friggin' wait for spring. For everything to start back up again. I mean, we're actually going to be heading down to VIR in 2 weeks, actually. So heading down to Virginia for Japan Auto Legends, hosted by Driver Motorsports. That's going to be a great time. So if you're going to be down in that area, come hang out. It's going to be an awesome event. It's all Japanese cars ripping around Virginia International Raceway. My God, I cannot talk. It's going to be an awesome event. They got some crazy awards that they're giving out. I've seen some of the cars that are going to be there. It's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to that one. It's going to be Dakota, Alex, and I heading down there. So I think March 11th, March 10th, 11th and the 12th. It's a 2-day thing, I believe. But 2 weekends from now, we'll be down there. So if you're in that area, come hang out. Hell yeah, Jack. Man, these mountains. giving us some bumpy spots to fly over. Ooh. You just hanging a big old Randy up here? Is that what I'm seeing? Oh yeah. Sure enough. It's funny you mentioned that, Alex. Me and my buddies, when I was younger, used to play airsoft like crazy, like literally every weekend. My buddy Luke had like the perfect spot for it out at his house. There was like a big field on one, so it was like the house, and there was a huge field that apparently was like a pine tree farm. And now, like, I drove by there not too long ago for the first time in years. They're not little trees anymore. They're not like this tall. They're fully grown pine trees, which is insane. I didn't even recognize the area. Anyway, so there's that field out there that we could go out into because they had like tall grass and stuff, which was neat. And then woods on either sides of it that you could go out to the field, come back into the woods. There was like a scrap pile, like old busted up like equipment and like trailers and things like that. There's like a couple sheds. So it's like the perfect spot to just go play airsoft. And we can just like run back in, grab some food, play some video games, go back out, play more airsoft. Did that a lot. And that was a ton of fun. I haven't touched that stuff many years. But if there was ever a group of people that we could just go do that again, oh, I'd be 100% down. So you'd be surprised how many people that play airsoft are also into cars. That's super funny. That's really funny. All right, hanging a big old Randy. Yeah, it's really funny to see all of like the consistencies and stuff like that. I remember as a trend on TikTok, it was like all those people who were into like snowboarding or skateboarding. How's the car scene treating you? It's very real. Embrace the pain. To be fair, I had a like revolver. Like you literally load the airsoft BBs into like the actual bullet casing with CO2 power. And shooting in the backyard, and my mom was walking out to our shop that we had. It was like all the way across the yard. I was like, what are the odds that I could hit her from here? And I did, and she was not too happy about it. Yeah, that's fair, Jackson. I feel like it's one of the reasons I can imagine like going to like a local field or something like that, and it's very not our demographic anymore. Yeah, that was a good one too, Cameron. That was a good trend too. I saw that one. It might have been a different one, but I saw one that he just kept going. It was like, thanks for the 350Z. And then it was like, to the woman who totaled my 350Z, thanks for what, and it just kept going. I was like, dude, how does your insurance not just stop you? That's insane. At that point, I'd just give up. Like, my God. I couldn't even trust, like, driving. Being hit that many times? Jesus. These are the Daewoo. I'd fuck with a Daewoo. No, that's luck. Depends on how you look at it. I guess, yeah, it's guaranteed. Like, you don't have to worry about selling it. My ex totaled 4 cars and is on her 5th. My God. That is terrifying. Exactly, James. Like, at what point do you have to take a look at yourself for a second? Be like, am I the problem? Yeah, Valve's got it right. Someone start a dating app for people that total an ungodly amount of vehicles. I feel like there's something there. You can make a lot of money off that. Yeah, it's never their fault. Never. The demographic would be a portion of the same. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it'd work well. Hitting the house? I mean, I would hope she would admit that it's her fault. What else would it have been? The house jumped out in front of her? The house swerved into her lane? She hit a what? So I'm saying, you gotta own that one. You have to. I don't think there's a way you could really spin that. Alright, let's see where we're at here. We should be closing in... Well, we might have a little bit yet. Yeah, we got a couple more turns yet, but I'd say we're about halfway there or so. So on the same mission? Yep. Yep. So this is leg 9, I believe, and it's all part of the same series or mission. We started in Croatia. We're slowly working our way down the coastline here. We'll end up in Santorini. So multi-step mission, but yeah, this specific leg, I believe, is going to end up being about 50 minutes or so. Yeah, I know. I forgot to hit the stop. The stopwatch works well if, like, so luckily with this plane, it's got the glass cockpit. It's got the Garmin. It's on the bottom right there. It's got the flight loaded up in the navigation. So I just kind of follow that line. But in some of the other ones, they don't have this type of instrument layout. And you have to follow the nav log specifically and watch for those points of interest and kind of use the stopwatch, because you'll see like, oh, this should be about 2 minutes 39 seconds for this portion until you turn. Kind of really use it for that. So I think that's why I haven't been using it. I've just been looking at the GPS down on the bottom right there. Maggie, a wall did not jump out in front of you. I don't know how many times you have to tell you that. That's alright, we just replaced the whole bumper. That is a Class A example of if you have to replace it, see if you can find something cooler. And we did. Maybe the wall fell off the back of a truck. Not this one. Not this one. Maggie, you cannot say, I love you, but you cannot say your box is indestructible when I've had to fix it more times than my RX-8. I'm sorry. It's a Jeep, by the way, for those that are wondering. I make it sound really bad. And I feel like the only thing we've really had to replace a lot of is the O2 sensors for some reason, which is just more of an annoyance than anything. And the brake caliper, the passenger, no, was it? The driver's side, passenger side rear brake caliper, we've had to replace twice now because it keeps getting hung up. And then replace like the whole thing, so like the slides, the pins, everything. It's the second time now. Hit the base model Ford Focus. Was that the pre-Altima? Was it the Ford Focuses? I could see it. Ran for a month with no oil. I feel like I did that with my old 325 at one point. 325i. That thing was a something. But it got me places. Places that it probably shouldn't have. Don't know how it did it, but it did it. The Focus walked so that the Altima could run. Got it. I could see it. Makes sense. Altimas do not care. Facts. Remember, oh my god, we were on our way down to film something in Illinois one time, kind of outside of Chicago, and it was like a new Altima, like literally like a brand new Altima, like 2020 2021 Altima, and the thing literally looked like it should have been total. It literally looked like it got T-boned, was flipped, and then like got hit by another car. and there was ratchet straps holding it together, no windows, no mirrors, there was no functioning lights on it because they were all busted. And this dude was just hauling at, like, we were at a gas station, we had to get gas. We were at like one of the oases coming into like the Chicago area. The dude just hops in like nothing, just takes off, and then continues to do like 100 miles an hour down the freeway. I'm like, holy shit. Dude was driving, looking on the left side of the 8. That's what I feel like it was, because like you couldn't see out of it. Dakota, I don't remember. You were on that trip, but I don't know if you guys saw that. I think you guys did. I think you were with Max. That was absolutely wild. Yeah, it was just a sight to behold. Like, I couldn't believe that, one, he hadn't been, like, pulled over and, like, the car got impounded. Two, that it was even able to drive. Like, he had stuff in the trunk that was just sitting, like, you could literally see the stuff in the trunk because it was so bashed in. So we should be on number 9 here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 more points of interest here. So we're coming up pretty quick. You think a gears and gasoline style road trip with a Mustang and a Bronco is a good idea? I think that would be a freaking blast. Are you talking about like the newer Broncos? I think that would be dope. I think anything like that would be a great time, especially if they're like a little modified. Throw a little twist into some things. If it's like the new Mustangs too, I like the new Mustangs. They're great cars. What's your favorite modification that you've ever done to any of your vehicles you've driven? Ooh, that's a great question. Yeah, the underglow on the Nia. I do love me some underglow, and I absolutely need to get. I'd love to get a low glow kit for the RX-8. Oh man, underglow is such a good one. My favorite modifications to do, and this is gonna sound like total 16-year-old high school car guy of me, but I love doing exhaust installs. Usually because they're pretty straightforward and nothing usually goes wrong. Usually. But it's just like, it's like the most fun thing to do to like your car. Especially if like you get like a new car and it's stock and you just can hear it for the first time. Like, that's my favorite thing to do. Camera says speakers all day. I've really underestimated a good audio system in vehicles. I feel like that's something that, I mean, my Eclipse that I had, I did a single, well, I think it was a single 12-inch subwoofer, upgraded all the speakers, did a head unit, all that sort of stuff. And it was nice. I did enjoy that. But since then, I don't think I've had a vehicle with like a good audio system in it. And I think that those do go kind of under the radar. Spider-Man, what's up? That's alright if you're late. We're vibing. Glad to have you. Hard to find good underglow. Hard to find a kit that covers everything, all corners. That's why I think Loglow does a really good job. I mean, seeing their kits in person and like people that I've talked to that have run it, they seem like a really quality or a real quality kit. And I think that has to do with part of the thing too, where it's like they don't try to rush anything, and that's the reason why they do like the certain drops and stuff like that, is because they don't want to like they don't want to rush any of the manufacturing process to make sure that they have a good quality kit. Jackson, yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. It is a crazy difference. Used to be a cold air intake kind of guy. Nothing made me giggle more than a quick stab at the throttle and hear every time the air sucking. Yeah, that's a good one too. That is a good one too. Remember my Neon when I got the cold air intake for it. I think I used so much gas just because I would do that same thing. Just a little quick stab. Or if like you get in the right spot, you can kind of just hear like the whistle a little bit. It was the coolest thing. The RX-8 with its new intake, I tried out one of those K&N Typhoon intakes for it. It seemed like one of the better options for the RX-8. Just because it had like the nice heat shield and everything. That thing sounds so throaty and so good. I couldn't believe how much of a difference it made to the actual sound of the car. So definitely happy with that one. Otherwise, like, good suspension is always a good one too. I had my Eclipse, I put that on lowering springs. And I thought that was like hot shit back in the day. Because I couldn't afford coilovers, so I bought a used set of lowering springs. Eibach lowering springs. And I thought I was like hot shit. And then when I got my first set of coilovers, my whole world changed. I was like, holy shit. This is crazy. Yeah, that was the thing, K20. It was like, it's not like the JDM parts, I could have went with like an AEM or whatever. And there were some other options, but I want to go with the K&N one, just because like the quality seemed like it was there, and it was. It fit really well. It was kind of more of a task to install, but the quality is there, and it fits really nice in the engine bay. It looks really good. It's a super clean setup. Sounds great. Max, miss you too, bud. Hope you're doing well. How's Texas right now? You guys getting any weird weather down there? I feel like when we get weird weather up here, you guys usually kind of get a little bit of it too sometimes. Yo, No, Spider-Man. God damn. That was a wild message to read. Texas bussin', nice 78 today. That sounds beautiful. I need some of that in my life. Like ASAP. K20, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If anything, I think it makes you appreciate them even more. What kind did you get? I got confirmation on some stuff and got some goodies coming for old Blarg car, the old 240 for this drift season. I'm really excited about, so we'll have some video content to do on there, which I'm really looking forward to. Got a couple things coming. Do kind of like a series in a sense of getting it ready for this next drift season, which I think will be fun to do. But some much needed parts for that car that should help out a little bit. BC Racing BR with the standard rates? Hell yeah, man. That's what I have on my my daily. I love them. Can't really even tell that there's like coilovers on there that, you know, it's aftermarket suspension. Feels good. I don't have it like slammed or anything, but I just went with the standard rates, the BR series, and it's great for daily driving. Looks good. Feels good. Texas weather's whack. Temp fluctuates between 30 degrees every few days. 76 mile per hour wind yesterday. Jesus. Some strong winds. Alright, let's see where we're at here. 7, so we got 218, 177. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. I think it's just kind of a couple more turns to follow the coastline here. Probably head inland a little bit near the end. Anything's got to be better than the original 200,000 mile stretch at this point. Damn, I would say so. It's gonna be a whole new world for you guys, or for your car. Goddamn. James, any tips, pointers for wrapping a car yourself? Going to do my car myself. I pretty much ran through the YouTube University of wrap videos, but they're always by people who have done it many times. Absolutely. You're in for a treat, man. No, it's cool that you're going to attempt it yourself. I would highly recommend, if you've ever thought about doing it, to do it. YouTube does help a lot. CK Wraps, I remember, is a channel that I watched a ton of, even before I knew I wanted to do it myself, just because I thought he did good videos. And but yeah, tips, I would say definitely, if you can, get an extra set of hands to help you out, because especially when it comes to like things like your bumpers and things like that, you need to add like a lot of tension and some extra pull, and just an extra set of hands helps a ton, especially on your bumpers. Use a lot of heat. Invest in a heat gun. Don't use a hairdryer or anything like that. I know some people use a torch. I tried a torch, burned through the material right away. So just getting like a heat gun, you can get it hot but not like crazy hot, and just heat as much as you can, and that's going to help a ton. Really gets that stuff malleable, makes it a lot easier to form around stuff. And just take your time, take it piece by piece. Don't be afraid to pull material off. It's very at least the stuff that I have, I used Avery. So get a good material too. There's a lot of materials out there, especially with like how trending wraps and stuff are, that isn't very beginner friendly, especially with like some of the crazier colors. So I used Avery Dennison. Their 3M's a good one. I haven't really had much experience with anything else. But those are very beginner friendly. You can work with them a lot. If you mess something up, just heat it up. It usually fixes itself. You can pull stuff off. It's not like super tacky. Torch was a fail for me, yeah. But yeah, heat. Get a good material. Use a lot of heat with a good heat gun. And then if you have a friend to help you out, absolutely do that. And then just take your time with it. It took me probably about over the span of 2 weeks to fully wrap my car. And that was breaking it up into a few hours each day. We eventually got her done. Don't be afraid to take pieces off. It's like, man, it'd be easier if I just took these headlights out, or be easier if I, took the taillights out or took the door handles off. Just do it. Just 100% do it. It's going to turn out a lot better than trying to work around it. It might take a little more time, but trust me, it's going to save you time in the long run. Trying to think of anything else. I think that's about it. I think you should be okay, James. I think you should be okay. 3M's a really good material. They got their shit on lock, so I think you'll be alright. You can really pull that stuff. And Cameron is right. I did take some paint off of the RX-8. But that was expected. It's an old car, old paint. But if you're a new car, odds go down a lot more. Inlays too. Inlays help a ton, especially on like your bumpers and things like that. So like if you're looking at like where your grill is, or anything that would have like a really sharp corner to it, like that, like if you say you like lay it over something, you have like pockets, like I said, like your grill or vents or stuff like that. Do an inlay. It helps out a ton. Grab some material, wrap it around in there itself before you go over the whole thing. That's gonna help a ton. Maybe watch a couple videos on inlays specifically. That's what I did inlays for. Well, Dustin did. My buddy Dustin helped out. He did some inlays on the trunk, like kind of where the license plate went. And then where else? Oh, and then I did inlays on the front bumper, so like the little spot before the headlight where it kind of flattens out before it goes down. That area, did an inlay. The grill, the vents. But yeah. Yeah, of course, James. Love to help out any way I can. Wish you the best of luck with that. Just take your time. You'll get her. Use a sharp knife too. I know they make like the breakaway blade knives. Always make sure that it's sharp so you don't have to use a lot of pressure. That's how you mess up your paint underneath, and it just makes it so much easier when you can just kind of glide over something, and then you can peel it away really easily. So always use a sharp blade. If you have some body panel, I know for like the RX-8 for instance, like the whole side panel of that car is one piece, like the rear quarter, the top frame, and then the rocker panel is all one giant piece. And I split that up into three pieces actually. And you can usually hide those seams pretty well in your body line if you need to. So don't be afraid to do that too. Don't be afraid to do things in multiple pieces. Perfect. Then you're more than set. You should be golden. Start with your flatter panels first. So you have like I don't know exactly what you're wrapping, but if you have like a door that's pretty flat, or usually like your hood is pretty flat, roof, Start with those pieces first. Gonna kind of get you in the hang of everything. I remember I did my hood first, and it probably took me 2.5 hours to wrap my hood. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be horrible. But by the time I got to like the side of the car and then started on the other side of the car, it was going a lot smoother. You learn pretty quick. JB, sorry, I was really caught up in the wrap question. What are your thoughts on roof boxes so clear plate? I think on the right car that they can look really cool. I know for a while there people were throwing them on everything, and it's like, oh my god, they're so overdone. It really depends on the car, and if you like it, that's all that matters. I thought about throwing a roof box on the 328i. Thought that would have been kind of neat, especially if like we go on a trip somewhere. If we go up north, snowboarding or skiing or something like that. No, I do not currently have my pilot's license, unfortunately. I'd love to someday. Just a little expensive and a lot of time dedication. My life has not settled down enough to do that quite yet. Wrapping a BRZ so the front bumper is definitely intimidating, but yeah, mostly pretty much flat surface. I think you should be golden. Yeah, that front bumper is going to be a little bit of a trick. I think you can do the trunk in 2 pieces really easily. That bumper, just do hella inlays. Because it's going to have the same thing where, especially like under the headlights and stuff like that, inlays will be your friend. Knifeless tape. I don't know if you have that too. I didn't use it, but I think it would have helped a ton. Because every video that I watch with people doing it, it looks like it helps a ton. Especially with the inlays, because then you don't have to worry about getting in there with a knife. You can just pull it. Jackson, thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you. Have fun at work. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Do I know of any good bike racks for sports cars? My Z doesn't work with regular trunk-mounted racks. Ooh, I don't. That's one thing that those accessories like that, I do not know much about. James, you should be golden then. I think you got a lot of the hard stuff done. You got a lot of the understanding and the right materials and the right tools going into it. Which is where a lot of people, I think, kind of miss the mark. They go with like a really crazy cheap wrap, like cheap material that's not user friendly whatsoever, and they get really frustrated with it. So I was thankful that the material that I got was very beginner friendly. I think we should be getting pretty close here. Hitting some more speed bumps in the air. Coming over these mountains into the valley. Yeah. No, they definitely do know what they're talking about. I think you raise a good point. They've done it so much that, you know, they kind of get numb to it. They forget what that first time was like. Yeah, glad I could help out. Maybe I'll end up wrapping another vehicle at some point, but I think My next step, I'm going to attempt to paint a full vehicle, and that'll probably be the 240 eventually. Maybe not this year, but probably maybe next year. Yeah, JB, absolutely. That is the plan at some point, hopefully in the near future. Would love to get my pilot's license finally, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Derek, what's up, man? Yeah, dude, buying a car right now. Woof. I think we're on kind of like the downswing of things, which is good. Of course, I haven't been really car shopping lately. I know for the last 2 years it's been rough. Last one I bought was my 328i just because I was looking for a daily. And I was kind of in the midst of everything. And it was kind of a shit show. So I feel ya. Hell yeah, man. We up here. Just taking it step by step. Have a good time hanging out. Sheesh, it is bumpy in here. Really hope we didn't miss our airport. I don't think we did. I don't think we did. For this mission specifically, James, it gives you the 172. There are different missions that use different planes, but this one specifically, it makes you use the 172. Thanks, Derek. I love this shirt too. Yeah, K20 hit it on the head. It's a rough spot right now. Dealers are going crazy with markups on new vehicles because they know people need to buy them or want to buy them, and they will buy them for whatever price they give them. And if you're not willing to pay 20K over, it's like the housing market in 2020. James, I know. We'd be up here for a long time. Love to do this in like a Lancer or something like that. Something a little quicker, a little more sportier. Flying cross country and your 150 was painful? Oh man. Someday we'll probably have to deal with that. I'm sure. We gotta be getting close. Watch us just end up flying like the next leg of this by accident. Starting to get kind of nervous. This heading isn't making much sense. I think I missed it too. Oh no. I legit think we missed it. Oh man. Oh no, I think we missed it. Oh. Alright, we gotta check something. Oh, we have to do... I thought I was gonna go this whole thing without hitting the back on track, but I think we gotta do it, because I don't know where the hell I am right now. Oh my god. Where were we supposed to... LANO. Oh my god, we gotta turn around. We got too busy talking. Holy shit. My bad. We just whipped right past that. We just kept on trucking. Oh no. Oh my, that's embarrassing. Damn, I can't believe we did that. No, you're good, James, you're good. Should have enough fuel, hopefully. Yeah, we're good. Oh yeah. I can't believe that happened. Oh my god. I'm like, this looks odd. Heading didn't make sense to the nav log. Ah, so can't believe we had to use our back on track. That sucks. Oh well. Maybe in the next one. Yeah, just taking the scenic route. Wanted to give you guys a nice view. Yeah, we gotta get the yellow Spirit livery for the 172. After this nonsense. Good lord, I can't believe that happened. I probably looked right at it too. Didn't even realize. Yeah. Put a squawking emergency code on this thing. You got that right, K20. Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to some of the shows coming up. We're going to be down in Chattanooga, obviously, for Riverside, and then we're going to be heading back down Tennessee for Gatlinburg later in the year. That's always a good time. Some great driving roads down there. Obviously got Tail of the Dragon pretty close, and then just like the other roads as well through the mountains are just crazy. Sounds good, Cameron. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Make sure to stop by next week if you're free to. We'll be here doing the same thing. Hopefully not missing as many airports. But thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we flew over that one spot. I'm like, that kind of looks like the spot in that picture, and I just didn't register, apparently. That was wild. Absolutely know how that goes, Cameron. I absolutely know how that goes. There it is. Thank you, James. I couldn't remember the exact squawk code. I think you can do that. I think you can adjust the. Is that ident? Is that? It's my favorite warbird. Ooh. Oh man. Oh man. Got so many. I mean, Spitfire, classic. It's between the Spitfire and the P-51. I love both of those. If we're talking, I guess you can classify. Depends on what you classify as a warbird. I think you can consider like some of like the early Korean jets, the warbird category. I love the Super Sabre. I think that plane is beautiful. I got to see one of those fly at EAA a couple of years back. Absolutely incredible to see that. F-7F Tiger Cat, that's a good one too. Love those. Are fast airplanes. Huge engines on those things. JB, thank you so much for the $5 dono for your license. Have a good night, y'all. Dude, thank you so much for the donation. I am 100% putting that in the savings account for someday, and I will remember that. Thank you so much. Have a good night, brother. Thanks for hanging out. P-51 all day? Absolutely. Sounds amazing, too. They do. They got that low rumble to them. Grumman was just killing it back in the day for Navy planes. The Bearcat, too. I know I didn't see much action, and sees a lot of action in the Reno air races and stuff. Those things are fast as hell, too. Making me mad. I can't think of the actual name of it, but the twin Mustang, the XP82, I want to say. I saw that fly, which is insane. It's the only one that is airworthy in the world. I was down at EAA AirVenture a couple years ago. Got to see that. Got to see it up close and then see it fly as well. That was a sight to see. .28-cylinder Wasp major engine development late in the war were insane, mainly used on bombers, but they also put it in a Corsair. Corsairs are also another favorite. The innovation back in the day for that stuff was just incredible. Yes, XP82. Good. I'm glad I got it right. Mom, good night. Have a good day, or have a good night. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. Apparently you guys didn't get enough for another snow day. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you this weekend. Alright, we should be coming up pretty soon. So I remember flying over this up here. I'm like, that looks familiar. P38, P40, P47, so much to choose from. I know. That's a hard choice. It's a really hard choice. Favorite World War II bomber? Ooh. Ooh. I feel like the B-24 might be among one of my favorites. B-17 as well. Classic. B-24. Those were kind of crazy. Gotta be B-17. Yeah, it's close. It's up there. I almost got the chance to go on a flight in a B-17, but didn't happen. Alright. We gotta be getting close here. Where the hell is our airport at? I was hoping it would show up on the GPS, but I don't see it. Okay, I think it's on the other side of this. Yeah, one more turn here and then it should be coming up. We'll get there eventually. I do love the B-17 though. I used to go to the camp that was held at the EAA grounds, the Air Academy, when I was younger during the summer. It was like a week-long camp. And EAA actually has their own B-17 aluminum overcast. And the planes that we would use for camp, we started out, when I started going, they were like the Remos G3 light sports, and then after a few years they upgraded to some of the Cessna Skycatchers, and then they had like a 172 as well. But they kept all those planes in the Weeks hangar, and that's also where they would keep the B-17 when it was there. And they were doing some maintenance on it, specifically on one of the engines, and they were doing run-ups and stuff outside, so like we were waiting for our flights later in the afternoon, just chilling at the airport, chilling in the hangars. Just a B-17 golden hour. It was absolutely beautiful. And they're like, hey, we need some help turning over the engines on this thing, or they wanted to like kind of like cycle everything so they could get some oil in there before they started it up. And so we all just like went up and started cranking over one of the engines by hand, just kind of, you know, turning the propeller on it. We had like 4 of us, because we were like, you know, middle school at the time. We're just like hanging on the freaking propeller blade of this thing, trying to like get it to turn over. That was really cool. Would I consider doing a War Thunder stream in the future? Absolutely. I'd love to hop back on that game. I think when I stopped playing, I finally see our airport up here, thank God. When I stopped playing it, I was in probably like the mid, like, I can't even remember the rankings now, but I had like the P-47, P-51, Corsair, like I was in like that ranking. Yeah, man, that place Place got a place in my heart, man. And it's really awesome that we're literally like 20 minutes away from it. So it makes it nice for the air show. My mom actually volunteers down at EA. She has for the last couple of years for the air show.
500.
So she camps down there for a couple weeks. So we kind of just go hang out with her at the camper, and we stay there for I usually go for the end of the week. So I'll usually be there from like Wednesday through Sunday. But she's there helping out on the grounds, which is awesome. Alrighty. We found our little landing strip. Just took a little detour. That's alright. Alrighty. Took the scenic route, but we eventually got there. And we did her. Only an hour and 14 minutes. That was supposed to be a 50-minute flight. But we made it. Butter, I tried my best. Relocate my screen here. Alrighty. So, with that, I think we're going to close her out. Been live for about 2 hours, which is awesome. Thank you guys all so much for coming and hanging out on your Monday night and talking some airplanes, talking some cars. I couldn't ask for a better way to spend it. So thank you guys so much. Spider-Man, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Again, we'll be continuing this next week. I'm going to talk to some of the guys and see if they want to stream some other games this week as well. I miss playing SnowRunner and Need for Speed, so we'll probably hop on that at some point again too. But if you know a pilot or you're friends with one and get a chance to go up in a plane, ask them in controls and learn. Absolutely. That's actually the first time that I flew with the Young Eagles program. We had a family friend of ours that had a 172, and we would go up every now and then. And I was really young. He's like, here you go. Just try it. And I was really terrified, but it was that was the start of something huge. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of your week. And we will see you guys next Monday at 7 p.m. for sure. Maybe before then with another stream. But next Monday for sure. We'll see you guys later.